Heimat ist für mich ein Ort, wo man seine Freiheit.
Home for me is a place where you can realize your freedom, regardless of where you come from, or what your background is.
Und so weiter und so fort.
Home for me is the place where I feel comfortable. My original home is Rosenheim, and my academic home is Heidelberg. Greece always fascinated me. My first time here was when I was 6, for 4 weeks with my parents. It really had a lasting impression on me.
George Tipanidis is recording music for a new release. The saxophone is merely one of the many instruments he's mastered.
Ich mache, was man heutzutage frei improvisierte Musik nennt.
The music I do is called free improvisation, so there are no preset rules. Instead, it evolves while you're playing live on stage, so it's unique each time.
Während des Musizierens auf die Bühne und sie ist einmalig.
George moved to Bonn 5 years ago. He regularly presents concerts in the city via a project called the In Situ Arts Society that he founded together with his Russian friend Pavel Borodin. George originally came to Bonn to study German philosophy, despite not speaking a word of German to begin with.
Ich bin als Erwachsene gekommen und als solche ist man.
I was an adult when I came here. At that stage, you're used to communicating at a certain level of language in your mother tongue, which by definition is impossible in a foreign country.
Ja, per Definition im Ausland nicht erreichen kann. Und aus diesem Grund habe ich.
So I set about learning German as quickly as possible, so that I could formulate my thoughts better.
Meine Gedanken besser formulieren zu können.
The Peloponnese Peninsula has been Martina Riedel's on-off workplace for the last 18 months. She works for the German Archaeological Institute on a Bronze Age excavation in Tirens. It's a dream job for the 28-year-old, albeit a tough one with no shortage of competition.
You need a certain level of expertise, which wasn't easy at first because I'd only just graduated from university. It's difficult to find your way around Greek bureaucracy, although it's okay once you've got the hang of it.
To avoid the heat, excavation only takes place in the mornings. She then returns to the apartment she shares with other members of the team. Martina Riedel lives here for weeks at a time, together with her colleagues who hail from all over Europe.
Working together in such a tight space takes some getting used to. But inevitably, you do become friends. So it's really nice to meet the same people again. It's a far closer and deeper connection than if you just see each other occasionally.
Bonn is similar in size to George's hometown of Thessaloniki. The first thing he bought here was a set of wheels. He soon hooked up with movers and shakers on the city's cultural scene and is now an established figure himself.
Als Veranstalter habe ich mich bewusst entschieden, die In Situ Art Society.
I made a conscious decision to set up the In Situ Art Society and be a concert host. Both me and Pavel Borodin had noticed that Bonn wasn't very well served in this area.
During an ongoing excavation, Martina spends her weekends in the Greek capital, Athens. Life in the bustling, sprawling city was a new world for the native of provincial Bavaria. Although her backyard apartment is an island of tranquility. And it's been made even cosier by the addition of a stray kitten she recently took in. Martina's frequent change of workplace makes it hard to maintain personal relationships.
My personal life needs an extra dimension, but it will come eventually. In the first year it was hard to settle in, but now I have more space and scope.
Today she's going shopping around Athens with fellow archaeologist Tobias, but even here they're thinking about work. The old town is home to an array of little hardware stores where they can stock up on tools they need for the dig in Tirans. But locals can often be taken aback by Martina's practical mindedness.
I've often experienced intense discussions that result in nothing. And a lot of people can't deal with my German pragmatism.
Ich glaube, wir haben als Verein mit unserer Aktivität
I
genau
think
das
setting up
Gegenteil
this project shows the opposite, that we are practically minded people. The things we've achieved in just 1 year since founding the project, we would never have imagined it.
Unvorstellbar.
George now feels very much at home in Bonn. He's now planning to write his doctoral thesis on the German 19th century philosopher Hegel. This little antique bookstore in the old town will no doubt come in handy. George even hosts readings here occasionally.
It's one of the first places I went to in Bonn. I come here pretty often because I know I'll always find something interesting.
Martina likes to use her spare time to explore Athens on foot, where she can always discover some new relic or ruin from the city's ancient past.
I now generally feel at home here and no longer like a visitor. I now have my own routine, which is something that provides you with support.
For all Europeans, showing that Europe, with all its different cultures, is an open place is a big challenge. A place where you can realize your freedom.
For George Timpanidis, freedom is in his music. And for Martina Riedel, the opportunity to live and work in the cradle of European civilization, Greece.